All right, guys, welcome back once again today. I'm really happy to be on video because that means we have another big off-season story. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. Get your predictions in right now. Who do you think it could possibly be? The big reveal coming. Oh, it's Mr.
I think I
Wooloo
know my
himself.
face by this point, so I think it gave it away.
Yeah, they know your backdrop and everything too. There's no hiding from these people. Just like you're on the investigative journalism stuff right now. There we have tons of investigative fans and viewers and all that stuff as well. But like I said, Wooloo being here does mean we have another big story to bring to you guys. So Wooloo, what's the latest today?
Yeah, so the story of today is a new LEC move. I'm always excited for LEC moves. And it's about SK Gaming. So they made a lot of noise this off-season, with Wonder in the top lane, Mikix in support, Leader in mid lane. So it saw a bit of criticism, because it's a lot of experienced players, some of which have not played for some time, so that's completely understandable. But they do round out the roster with a promising AD carry, um, which will be Jopa from Croatia. If you don't know him, he played for Vitality B in LFL last year. And I can tell you, Vitality fans liked him. So one question they will ask is, why is he not in Vitality LEC? But unfortunately, it's a done deal. Jopa is joining SK Gaming into LEC.
Yeah, and obviously that's another moving part. I know I was like looking at the transfer hub over on the Sheep Esports website and stuff like that, and it seemed like there was just one missing piece in this SK lineup. So now, if you are saying that they have this 80 carry situation figured out and ready to go, that is a really exciting thing that we have another LEC roster fully rounded out and completed. We're getting closer and closer. We're moving through this offseason now. Dominoes are falling, but yeah, it seems like this is another roster that's kind of ready to go for 2026 at this point.
Yeah, definitely. It's the first team who has the roster completed for next year, and this is possible because they are a bit outside of all the dominoes we have going on in other teams. Because Mickey, Wonder Leader, they wanted to play together, and that was only possible in SK Gaming. So that could be decided very early on. Skins, SK, SK didn't believe they could have another better option. Not. No, I'm not saying that Skins is bad, but like one of those top
Yeah.
junglers into LEC. While Skins also didn't expect to have one of those better teams either. So they locked quite early, and then again, Yopa is a rookie. So it's your objective as a rookie is to make it into a 2LEC. He played a lot of tryouts with SK Gaming, and he actually apparently they played quite good together. So yeah, he decided to join SK Gaming. He did have interest from other LEC teams, but they were unlikely. So it makes sense, Team Heretics showed him interest. Team Vitality would have liked to promote him maybe, but they have Karzi still under contract into LEC. He's on a big salary, so he would be hard to bench. But it's not just a money issue. The coaches and the players, they also wanted to continue with Karzi. He said he's some good highs. So it can be a good choice too. But this leads to Yopa joining SK Gaming next year, and SK Gaming rounding up their roster now already.
Yeah, and that's really exciting. Like I said, I'm happy they got this done. I'm happy they have their roster ready to go. That's always exciting. That's what we like to see in the offseason, moves getting done. But I know fans also do like the theory crafting of the potential rosters, the other options. They like hearing about the stuff that could have went down and stuff like that. So for SK, was this their guy? Were there other options? Did they do other tryouts? That type of stuff. Like in another world, could we have had a different SK80 carry? What kind of
Yeah,
options were they considering?
yeah. So I'm not going to lie to you. At first, I thought it was going to be Patrick because he was one of their options, and he played with Mikix, I think, on Excel together. But yeah, so yeah, they did consider him. They also tried out other players from Tier 2, including Exakik, who had a very good year with KC Blue, and also a lesser known name that I'm myself not very familiar with, but the Danish rookie Whispers. That's maybe how it's said. Also
Something like that.
tried out for SK Gaming. It's quite unusual to see like a player who hasn't played in LFL or one of those top leagues try out for an LEC team, but he was also part of those tryouts and was only rejected 1 or 2 days ago. So he made it, quite far into process. So that's very interesting. And on top of that, SK Gaming also considered Eddie Karis from South Korea, but their first option is Yopa, and
Yeah.
he accepted now.
Yeah, and like you said, it's cool to get this done. And also, man, is this SK roster such an interesting mix of players at this point? Like you said, they have Mickey, who's kind of like the center point of this whole team now, and at his best, one of the best players in the entire LEC. He has maybe up and down years, up and down splits, whatever. But time and time again, it seems like every time he has a down year, a down split, or whatever, bounces back and proves himself when people start doubting him. But then, like you said, there's
Mhm.
also this mix of players who maybe haven't played in a little bit, players who have some stuff to prove, players who fans maybe doubt a little bit. And now you get a young and promising player in there too. Like this SK roster, the different outcomes and possibilities for them is going to be so interesting to watch. They could be really good, they could blow up and be horrible. Like this is going to be an interesting team. Like, and it's a mix of like big names and stuff too. Like, I'm just so curious to see what this is going to actually look like once the LEC starts next season.
Yeah, yeah. Some people already see them at the bottom, but don't honestly, you can criticize players for, favoring their friends on a roster, but um, there's also League of Legends is a team game, so it can be above sometimes too. And I wouldn't be surprised, if they have a thing going on, a bit of euphoria at the beginning of the year, and they get along really well, and are a little step ahead. I can see them pick up some wins. So it will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's good to have just another potential interesting storyline in the LEC. But I am very happy that, like I said, we could finish up another LEC roster for you guys, or I guess the first LEC roster, but just get a roster done. Period. And just happy to announce, that the LEC offseason and just the League of Legends offseason in general is continuing to move. And obviously, we're right here bringing you guys all the latest news as our leakers and reporters and all that stuff are able to come up with it. So thank you so much, Wooloo, for bringing us another story here today. And I'm sure another story is going to be coming very soon.
Oh,
Somewhere in the
definitely.
sheep esports world on all the different places we're doing stuff. So we'll see you guys soon somewhere.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Germ.